What's going on, my friends? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Ethereum. Right now we are sitting at $4,232. We're down about 2% on the day. What I want to do is take a look at Ethereum on the weekly time frame. So each candle here is going to represent 1 week. And what we're going to be using are Heikin-Ashi candles. So this is really going to help you stay with the trend. You're going to be able to see the trend better. And so far for Ethereum, I know we've gotten a retracement. We've gotten a pullback from our high, our local high that we got up to of around $4,800. But in my opinion, I think this is healthy price action. We essentially had a straight up move here from about $2,000. And for us to go from $2,000 all the way up to this $4,800 and then try to get into price discovery, breaking through our previous all-time high, that's a big ask for Ethereum. So in my opinion, the fact that we have cooled down a little bit here, we're consolidating and moving sideways, this potentially could let us calm down and have the break that we need to get up into price discovery, into those blue sky breakouts. And then we can see what Ethereum really can do, because at that point, we're not going to have any overhead bag holders. Because each time, guys, that's the tough thing here. Like Ethereum, as we made this move up through here, there were people before who bought at $4,000 and said, I better get the heck out of here. I just want my money back, and I'm going to sell at that range, on top of people who also short. So you have to be aware, and that's the nice thing about blue sky breakouts is when you get into that area, there's no overhead bag holders. And that's when price discovery can really shine. And what you've seen from Bitcoin breaking up above $69,000, you saw it go up to $124,000, which was almost 70% or so in terms of the run that it had once it got into those blue sky breakouts. So if something similar for Ethereum, if we step back and we take a look and we say, okay, maybe we can get a 75% move into blue sky breakouts, you're looking at a price range of somewhere between $8,000 and $8,500. Not saying we have to go to that area, but it's a realistic target. I know a lot of people out there are putting $16,000, $20,000, $25,000 for Ethereum, and guys, I just don't see it. The law of diminishing market cycles, you can see from 2017 up to 2021, that was 239% roughly. And then here, just because of the diminishing market cycles, I bet we could get anywhere from 50%, which would put you roughly around $7,300 up to that 75, similar to where Bitcoin's at, and that could put you at about $8,500. Now, some people will make the case and say, well, you know, Ethereum's smaller, has a smaller market cap, it can run higher, and that's, you know, a potential. But in my opinion, guys, I see anywhere from about $5,500 to $8,500 being the max for Ethereum for this cycle. And I hope it goes higher, but those are still excellent gains, especially if you were buying down into this beaten down area that we were talking about before. So, you know, just stepping back and taking a look at this, the indicators are looking good right now. Our MACD, both lines are above the 0 line. In the positive, we're not even close to the blue line crossing down through the orange line, so everything's looking good there. Chaikin money flow is going to be at a positive 0.9, and our lazy bear squeeze, we're still firing. We're in bright green, and we do have the yellow firing dots taking place. Now, if we look at our Lux algo, we do not have any major overhead resistance right here, no major blocks of selling. So that's a good thing. Thing we need to do is just get over our previous week's high, and that's going to be at 4,805. May take some more time of sideways chop before we get there, but in my opinion, we're going to get there, guys. I don't think Ethereum is done yet. Now, to examine the candles that we're looking for, typically when these trends run out of steam, you'll start seeing wicks on the bottom side of these candles. And so far, the bottom's looking pretty good for us here. Yeah, we had a longer wick on top. I don't necessarily like that. But in terms of the bottoms here and paying attention to that, we have not had any wicks, which could show that this trend is going to continue and we're going to get a pretty decent breakout here somewhat soon. If we get into the technicals for Ethereum, and remember, guys, we want Ethereum to go as high as possible as well, because that will help all the other altcoins. Starting on the monthly time frame, we have a 1 sell, a 9 neutral, and a 14 buy, and this is going to be calculating our oscillators as well as our moving averages. No problem there. On the 1 week time frame, we have a buy still with a 3 sell, a 9 neutral, and a 14 buy. And then on the 1 day time frame, we have a 5 sell, a 9 neutral, and a 12 buy. So on the main time frames that I like to look at, the bigger picture, the big drivers, everything's still looking good right now. So we also have a big I want to point this out. We also have a big speech by Jerome Powell tomorrow as well, talking about interest rates and what he's going to do with them. So that also can move the market. So just be prepared either way, guys. If he comes out hawkish and says, I'm not anticipating any rate cuts for the rest of the year, that could bring Ethereum down a little bit farther and we consolidate deeper. But if he does come out and he seems a little bit more dovish than that, potentially could get us into those blue sky breakouts, and we can see that price discovery and see where Ethereum potentially can go from here. But in my opinion, don't be worried, guys. If you're an Ethereum holder, I still think we're going to end up going higher. That's just my opinion. But also don't be afraid to take profits along the way if you're in good profits. So that's what I want to put out there for you today, guys. God bless each and every one of you. Don't panic out there. Take care.